Hello. I want to talk today about confrontation. Not a pleasant subject, and certainly not something that should be part of your vocabulary. But it happens. It happens. You see, what happens is this. You come into the office, and as you walk into the office, the first thing that you may hear is that a patient is upset because a copay wasn't paid. Or they were told that this copay was late, and therefore they were asked to send a check immediately. You may find out of a patient of some of the past that have come to your office, and for whatever reason they realized that the payments that they have made had a different balance, and they found out about it and they're upset. You may also find out that a patient was mistreated for whatever reason by one of your staff members. You may also find out that a staff member may not be happy or pleased with one of the policies that you just implemented last week. Confrontation is something where two ideas or two concepts are not looking at each other positively and want to be in the opposite direction. Now, the whole world was created with a positive and a negative concept. You've heard about it, the yin and the yang, the right and the left, the black and the white, the up and the down. All of those things have their opposites, and it's true. Just like there is goodness in the world, it has its opposites. Just like there's kindness, it has its opposites. Same thing, when there is organization, there could also be confrontation. The confrontation that I'm speaking about, however, goes even deeper. And that is that something that happens in your office that is negative and that you know about it, but the thing that you do to correct it is bring more fuel to that fire. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. How do you deal with confrontation? First and foremost, the first thing that you must do is step back. You've got to be able to, in order to judge the situation and take sides, you have to be able to understand the underlying process that occurred which brought it up to this level today. What happened? Now, even if something happened 20 minutes ago, how did it get there? You need to step back. Because if you walk into that confrontation and you just immediately attack to it, you're going to make a mistake. You're going to take sides immediately, and eventually you will be seen as either on one side of the confrontation or on the other side of the confrontation, but not as the person who resolved the matter. You won't be seen as someone who's helped the situation turn into something that was negative into positive. You won't. It's not possible. Because you got in, you looked at it, and you made a decision that you can't do. Here's how you face confrontation. First and foremost, like I said, you take a step back and listen to everything that's going on. Listen to it carefully. You might even want to take some notes and write down. And check all the parties that are involved. Let me just give you an example. Let's say you walk into your office and you find out that the front desk person is upset with the office manager. Just upset. Office manager said something, and the front desk person says, you know what, I'm not doing this. These things happen all the time in offices. The first thing to do is to listen to the side of what the front desk person says. Then is to go to the office manager and listen to that side of the story. Once you've heard those two, and you've taken some notes, either mentally or on a piece of paper, although I always recommend to have it in writing, that way you have a backup as to what really happened, walk away. Walk away and analyze the situation. In the meantime, the second thing you want to do is let both people calm down. Let both people take a step down and realize whether or not what they were saying was appropriate, was necessary, or was even true. Give them the chance to express themselves and give them the chance to cool down. Number 3, when it's the opportune time, it could be an hour later or a lunchtime or later on in the evening, take each one of them separately and let them know of how you're going to face this confrontation and the solution to that confrontation. And often, the very first thing that you want to say to them is a positive thought of the day. Start by saying, first and foremost, I want you to know that I truly appreciate the fact that you worked in this office for the last year and a half, and you're a good person. Bring the person up into a level where they feel comfortable. Show them the confidence that they deserve, and start it with an enthusiastic, positive momentum so that they can look at you and say, wow, you know what? He's speaking to me as a friend. Not as a person of authority, not as a judge, not someone who's going to take sides, but someone who's going to help me make up my mind and change me from this negative confrontational avenue to a positive disposition. And that's what's necessary to be done. The next thing after you've given them a positive motion, a positive verbiage, a positive words, the next thing you want to do is explain the situation as you see it. This isn't the time at that moment for you to be able to discuss it and take sides. Just say the disposition the way you see it. Lay it out. This is what I heard, this is what I see, this is what it is. At that very moment, you want to give the solution to what you think is best. And the solution should always start with the word peace. It should always start with a word that brings about a peaceful concept. Whatever it's going to be, whatever it's going to take, whether it's an apology or a regret or whatever it's going to take, this confrontation has to go. And the only way to stop the confrontation is to resolve it. But the way to do this is with positive attitude. See, now once you've taken those steps, you not only will have stopped the confrontation, but more so, there's two more things that you would have done in that office. Two very important steps you would have taken. Step number one is that you will have taught to your staff that when there is confrontation, when unfortunately some of these things do happen and we don't see eye to eye, and when even though you, the doctor or the owner or the director may not be there, the confrontation itself should not happen as easily. They'll think twice about having the next confrontation. But you let them know that the confrontation is not good and it should always be with peace. Second thing that you will have established in your office is that there should be respect at all times. Of course there's going to be issues, and at all times there will be challenges and obstacles and problems that will come out. There's no project that is worthwhile that doesn't start with difficulty. If it's so easy, then it's not a project. It's just a deed. It's just an action. It's just a process. Any project worthwhile has to be faced with the reality of difficulty. Why? Well, if it's that big, then it requires that much effort. And therefore, by showing them that every single aspect of their lives in the office should be done with positive attitude, with compassion, with kindness, with patience, they now will transfer this also among each other and among their family members. You not only will have an employee or partners or colleagues in the office who will come in sharing this positive attitude, but you'll have everyone around talking in this fashion and living in that fashion. That's the type of life that you want to lead. That's a type of wonderful aspect that you want in your office. You see, by avoiding confrontation, you're just delaying a problem to be born sometime later. By coming to confrontation with fire, you're just making it much bigger. But by coming to confrontation and listening to it and laying it on the plan which I've just developed, which I've just shared with you, you're bound to win. Your attitude determines your action, and your action, in this case, will undermine, but at the same time direct your accomplishments. I wish you a great day and a successful week, and may God bless each and every one of us for a wonderful, successful, positive, healthy year. Talk to you soon.